Welcome to the Loaded Cannon. First things first, let's dedicate this video to a victim of the genocidal Israeli regime. And this is to the 15 medics and aid workers that were not only murdered when they were in clearly marked vehicles, and not only were they murdered by the Israelis, but also their vehicles were crushed and buried to cover up the murder, the cold-blooded murder. If you know, when I say stuff like this, if you're not that close to the news and stuff, actually Google this one. Just type in Israel kills 15 aid workers or something like that and see what comes up. It's like something out of a crazy movie. The fact that Israel even do this sort of stuff just shows how much they're acting with impunity. This is absolutely crazy. And in terms of how much news it made, barely anything, given how horrific and how just absolutely just the lunacy of it, the lunacy of the whole situation. Crazy. So this is dedicated to them. Now, today, Arsenal 4-0. Brilliant away performance against Ipswich, and obviously helped by the fact that they had a red card. The only blemish of the day is that Chelsea flipping managed to come back from 2-1 and win 2-1 against Fulham, because had they not won today, my God, their Champions League hopes would have been left in tatters. But still, that's below us anyway. It's below us. Why am I talking about that? We are much more concerned higher up the table and achieving much more important things, Champions Leagues rather than Conference Leagues. And you know what? It's not easy when you go and have a performance like that in Europe. Not even that it was too taxing for us. Like, I don't even feel like that game against Real Madrid was sapping our energy away. It was more just the occasion. So when you're geared up for such a huge game, and you know you've done so well in the first leg, and so much of your mental energy goes into preparing for that second leg, when you come back to a Premier League game towards the end of the season, where you know you're going to qualify for the Champions League, and the team you're playing against, you know, they know they're going to get relegated. It's not a dead rubber, you can't call it that, but it's, you know, it's close to that. And it's these sorts of games where sometimes you can kind of struggle to get up for them and struggle to get the result that you need to get. But I think Mikel Arteta set the tone with the lineup. Rice, Ødegaard, Saka, Saliba. We're playing all of our stars. He is not letting up on this. He's not sort of taking it lightly. And I think that really transmits to the team. I remember so many times in the past sort of saying, look, this is on the manager. When the manager decides to leave out Saka, if obviously it's in the past, but if a manager was to leave out Saka, that is telling your team, I'm not serious about today. You never leave Saka out unless he's got an injury. You never leave him out optionally. So I think Arteta did the right thing today. Clearly, had we got an injury, we'd all be complaining about it. But I personally agree with the selection today. I thought it was a good move from Mikel Arteta. We have got to just be in the habit of winning when we play PSG. PSG in their league, they are in the habit of winning. But it's interesting, like, even they limped to a 2-1 win. Barcelona, I think they won 4-3 with a 98th minute winner. It does become hard after Champions League games. So that's what these other teams are doing this weekend. Arsenal away from home, 4-0, exactly what we wanted. Can't believe Bukayo Saka didn't score today. After, he's had a bit of a up and down week, you could say. The penalty miss at the Bernabeu, and then that incredible finish, having Alaba on absolute toast over both legs. He's been brilliant. And then today getting booed from the crowd, which, we'll talk about. It's just frankly ridiculous. And missing so many chances, especially one on his left foot that you'd put your house on that he would score, but he missed that as well. But hey, it doesn't matter. He does the business when he needs to do the business. And he's unlucky not to get an assist today. We saw 2 assists today, right? The first 2 goals. The assist that Ødegaard got, listen, as far as assists go, that sort of scraping his studs, completely unintentional, really should have been Saka's assist. And then the assist from Mikel Merino, oh my God, that was a work of art. Absolutely beautiful. And you know what? I hope no one thinks he didn't mean to do that. He absolutely meant to do that. And it was just exquisite. Mikel Merino really deserves a lot of credit. This Spanish beauty, honestly, he turned up, and at the start, like I said in my last match video after Real Madrid, he really, really, wasn't really performing, and didn't really see what he was adding to the team. Now, every single week, it just seems like he is playing in a really, really assured way. I guess it's that reminder that we've had so many times, don't judge a player too early. For me, because he had that previous stint in the Premier League, I thought maybe he should adapt, but it's still a new team, and perhaps I was a bit too quick to judge. I just didn't see what he was doing, but now he's further forward. He's really, really doing a great job for us. And you know, I think the biggest testament you can give to him and his performances is that we're not talking about the fact that both of our strikers are out after every single game. You know, today away at Ipswich, you know they're going to have a low block, get people behind the ball. You know, it would be normal to expect that we might struggle to break them down, but we didn't. Attacking wise, we are doing okay right now. 3 goals at home against Real. I know them. I know, you know, 2 incredible set pieces, but Marino got a brilliant finish there. When you actually look at the quality of that finish, absolutely brilliant. 2 goals away at the Bernabeu, 2 Marino assists, another assist today again. He's a really important part of the fact that we are clicking going forward right now. So massive, massive credit to him. Now, all attentions are on PSG. I want to know your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below what you think is going to happen. Are they the best team in the competition right now? I think they're slight favourites to qualify, but you know, who knows? That first leg will be so important, just like it was against Real Madrid. If we can take a lead, and I don't see any reason why we can't, to Paris, then I think we're so resolute defensively, we can have a game plan that helps us in terms of making sure the game opens up. So I'm really looking forward to that game. And I mean, look, you know, the home leg against Real Madrid, I enjoyed that more than I think I've enjoyed any Arsenal game in probably since my first ever Arsenal game. One of my favourite Arsenal games of all time. If PSG even comes close to that, I'll be over the moon, but I can't imagine it being that good. But look, we'll see what happens. I'm really looking forward to it. Now, the next thing I was going to say was, with Arsenal coming up to the end of the season, one interesting thing to me is that we've done so well in the Champions League this year. If we finish second in the league, how would you feel about this season? Would you feel as though it's been one of, I know success or failure can be, you know, reduced just to win a trophy or not. But if we get knocked out of the semi-finals, or if we get to the final of the Champions League and we finish second in the league, has that been a good season for us? Disappointing in the domestic cup competitions, but I'm really, really torn about it. You know, I don't want to go too many years without winning a trophy, but we know we've only got one chance of a trophy left, and for that we have to get past PSG in 2 games, and then either Barcelona or Inter. Barca, the best attacking team in the Champions League, in my opinion, and Inter, the best defensive team in the Champions League, in my opinion. It's going to be really, really tough. So, if we don't win the Champions League, if we finish second in that competition, second in this competition, let me know. Success or failure, what has this season been for us? I'm not going to say failure. I don't think I'd be able to be that harsh and call it a failure. But yeah, it will definitely be, you know, an air of disappointment about what we could have done this year and unfortunately haven't. I think Man City not performing presented an opportunity that Liverpool have taken. I really feel like it could or should have been us, but our action in the January transfer window has counted against us. It's going to be a massive end to the season and a massive summer, but let's see what we can do. Hopefully, Champions League winners. Take care. See you next time.